Hello, my name is Natalie Villano, and I want to talk about the Houston foods and how it's grown in popularity. Now, Houston has grown in popular in food in the recent years with diversity as we have many options to select from, varying from Chinese, Indian, Texas, barbecue, Mexican. We have a wide variety of options here. And I'm going to go over a couple of them here. Now, specifically, I want to talk about foods in the Houston area, as well as a little bit of areas outside Houston, for say downtown, Woodlands, and things along those lines. I also want to talk about a few different types of food that we have here in Houston. And then I also want to talk about some of the popularity within those few foods and some reviews that I've gotten from Yelp. So, the very first place that I want to talk about is a place called Moon Towers Inn. Now, this type of style of food is more of an American classic between your burgers and your hot dogs, but they take a twist on them. You don't get your regular run of the mill burger with some cheese and bacon and it's done. You have a lot of options you can choose from, getting one that's loaded with smoked ham, chipotle pimento cheese. They also have options of hot dogs. Now, these type of hot dogs are filled with different types of meats. So you have an option between getting one that's made of deer, getting one that's made of what is it called? Excuse me. You have the deer, and then you have your regular run-of-the-mill hot dog. But they use different meats in their food so that you can try them out, as well as they have some very nice toppings that go with it. They make a nice, delicious coleslaw topping, and they also have different options for sides. They do have some seasonal sides that they use. The one thing is you don't get your run-of-the-mill side with it, which would usually be fries. You'll get something of a potato salad mix, or you'd get a coleslaw mix, or something that's more seasonal in time. And that's a very nice option to have with your meats. As well as they have an entire wall of different type of craft beers that they do alternate and switch out. So there's a good option for you to have a nice cold beer with your sandwich or your burger or your hot dog, as they have different varieties. The next place that I want to go ahead and talk about is Rudyard's. Now, Rudyard's is more known for their quality sandwiches that have, that kick of flavor in them. They have one that's called the Clubbin, and in the Clubbin you have smoked turkey with jamon de Paris, bacon, and loads more to top with it. As well as they have some really funny names like Gay Filet, Parmageddon, Fancy AF Grilled Cheese, and the Grinder Returns. With these cool names, it'll pique your interest into seeing what's on these types of sandwiches. As well as Thrillist named it one of the best places to eat in Houston. Then we're going to move on to Tiger's Den. Now, this is more of a Japanese style ramen shop, as well as the look of the shop itself is more styled in Japanese fashion, in the sense of there's no waiting room inside for you to wait for your meal. You do have to wait outside, you sign up, and it gets pretty packed when it opens. And they even have the same hours, similar to how you have in Japan, where you would close during the time right before dinner and right after lunch. They have a closing period so they can get their store ready. And some of their delicious appetizers include gizzard, hearts, chicken, beef, lamb, and different options, and you can get it in skewer form. As well as one of their most talked about ramens is the tonkotsu, which has pork belly, cooked eggs, green onions. It has a delicious broth. There are different varieties of broth that you can get: a meat-based, chicken-based, and different types of meat-based broth, which bring out the natural flavors into your ramen. And Houstonia described this place that it may be the city's best ramen joint, with fresh made noodles that taste as good as they look, in the tonkotsu broth that develops deep flavors and milky colors after simmering for half a day, or a day and a half, excuse me. So they do have a lot of flavors that they add into their food. Now, I do have a few reviews from Yelp where they've talked about their dining experience at all these locations. To read a little bit from Tiger's Den, they're saying that, oh my God, I finally discovered this place. The appetizers and ramen are out of this world. They go into describing the atmosphere and the option of you getting your takeout and everything, and how the experience itself was something great that they really enjoyed. Moving down to Rudyard's, Patty said that she's been coming here for years and she's enjoyed the experience and the growing crowd in Montrose, where they have their cocktail hours and then enjoying the new chefs and drinks, and saying that it has changed for the best and it's a very great place to dine out. And then lastly, we have Moon Towers. Marco went ahead and said that from someone who doesn't like hot dogs, this place is bomb. It's not your average excuse me, it's not your average dog, it's wild game wieners. So going back to like the deer and things along those lines, they have their own type of hot dogs. They don't just use the run-of-the-mill purchase ones that you would get from the store. They have these made, and those flavors really come out when you eat them. They used to have pheasant. So in conclusion, I've only listed a few of the restaurants that the Houston area has, but I hope it's been enough to pique your interest to venture out and try different and new things. There are many areas within Houston that have a variety of food options in that area alone. Some places are Montrose, Bel Air, the Woodlands, the Vintage, and downtown areas. You don't have to just stick to that one type of meal. You can get a vast variety of options. So I highly recommend visiting any of the 3 places that I listed and trying out their foods and seeing if it really is something that you would like. And I'd like to thank you so much and have a great day.